Hello! What do you do in NetBeans when you don't know how to do something? Let's take for example the constant base price. Base price has its value set to 1.0. Imagine we want to do inline refactoring. Inline refactoring is a common Java term, meaning that we don't want to have a constant anymore, but we want all the places where the constant is referenced to be replaced by our value, in this case 1.0. We can spend some time looking at menu items and toolbar buttons and options windows and help topics and Google and Stack Overflow and mailing lists to find out how NetBeans does inline refactoring. Or we can press Ctrl-I. Ctrl-I puts the cursor in the top right of NetBeans. We can then type inline and we can see that there is an action called inline. We press on the search result and the action is performed. And we can see that there are 4 places where we are going to have an impact based on the refactoring that we're going to do. We can also see that we can press Alt-R, and Alt-R does the refactoring task for us. The constant is removed, and the value that we have set to 1.0 is put in the places where the constant was referenced. We can now do Ctrl-Z and press Enter to see that our constant is returned to us and everything is as it was before. A different situation can arise when we do Ctrl-I again, so we can see our inline refactoring is found immediately. We don't need to type anything because we did a search before. We press Enter and again we press Alt-R. Now imagine that we make some other changes in our code, and now if we do Ctrl-Z, of course our refactoring is not undone, because what is now undone is something completely different. How do we get back from our inlined code to our constant that we had in the beginning? So again we can type Ctrl-I and then we can put in here constant, because this is what we want. We want to have a constant. And we can see that there's an action, a refactoring action for constant. We press Enter. Now in this context there's no valid expression to be found. So we put the cursor directly within the place within our code that contains the expression that we want to have turned into a constant. Now we press Ctrl-I again, and we can see that the constant action is available immediately without typing it because we already searched for it before. We press Enter, and now we're given the option of either having a constant consisting of 1.0 or the complete constant would be 1.0 greater than 1000. So we can pick which of the expressions that are available in this particular context. So we pick 1.0, we press Enter, we give it a name. So again we can type base price as we had it originally, and here we have our constant back again. In other words, when you are in NetBeans and you are doing something and you're wondering how to do something that you don't know how to do, for example inlining or turning inline into constants, or typically refactoring actions, quick tasks that you need to do, simply press Ctrl-I, you'll end up in the top right, and then you can do a search for the key term that is part of the action that you want to perform. Thanks, and have fun with NetBeans and with the search everywhere functionality that you have now been introduced to.